Hello ladies and gentlemen, Nick here, and welcome one and all to my final Dark Knight trilogy review, The Dark Knight Rises. Oh boy, we've got into the big one now. Well, I know The Dark Knight is the most popular, and to be honest, it is still my favourite. But how does the final instalment hold up? Well, it's a marvellous finale. All three films are just amazing. And you know what, this one is still my second favourite of the trilogy. I know I gushed over Batman Begins in its review, and I really enjoyed it on a rewatch. But this one, it's just a magnificent story. It's got so much to do, and it just manages to do it so well. Yeah, there are some little nitpicks with it, but I still think this is a magnificent final instalment to this amazing trilogy. For starters, you've got the characters amazing. Batman, once again, great. It does take him 8 years for him to actually finally realise he needs to come back. It's really with the threat of Payne, played by Tom Hardy, that he needs to. Tom Hardy does a great job with him. It is difficult to hear the voice sometimes, but I can hear what he is saying. It's just a little muffled with that mask. I think that might be the point, but... So, Batman is back to make sure to try and stop Bane and his evil schemes, and it turns out this is a continuation of Ra's al Ghul's scheme from the first film, except this time it's on a much, much bigger scale, and it's led by Talia, who is Raz's daughter, played by Marion Cotillard, who reveals... she goes by another name throughout the film, but then later reveals that it's her, and the twist is actually a brilliant twist. So, really great. And it also makes a lot of sense in the terms of the story and the overall arc, connecting the first film with this film, and also a brilliant continuation from the story of the second film, with Batman still being hated for being responsible for the death of Harvey Dent and Harvey's victims when he became Two-Face. But later on, the truth is revealed, and Gordon is hated for it, but I can understand his reasons that why he and the Batman had to cover up Harvey Dent's crimes as Two-Face at the end of the previous film. Both films explain it really well, and thankfully Batman does become a hero, is regarded as a hero at the end of the film and honoured as rightfully he should be. He should have been at the end of the first film, but oh well. Need a dramatic trilogy to finally be recognised as a great character. Michael Caine is also amazing as Alfred. I don't think he's quite as good as he was in The Dark Knight, and he is missing from half the film, but he's still really great with the emotional side of the character, and does one last amazing performance, as does Morgan Freeman as Lucius Fox, who gets a little bit more to do in this one as well. He's done quite a bit in the other two films, especially last time. But this time around he gets a little bit more to do in terms of the main plot, and Freeman does a great job. Like I said with the Dark Knight review, he does seem to just come back to Wayne Enterprises after resigning from the previous film after doing something he thought was unethical. But thankfully he is back, and he's crucial to the plot as with developing the helping develop the weapon that the villains would later use to threaten and then attempt to destroy the city with. And yeah, it's so really great, and he provides Bruce with some more great weapons and toys. Anne Hathaway plays the secondary villain of the film until later on, where she turns to the good side, and so and with Talia, it's revealed she's technically the third main villain, I suppose. Third main villain / main ally in this, or one of the main allies. She plays Selina Kyle, not ever mentioned on screen as Catwoman. We got a thing with female superheroes / in this case anti-villain not being called their code names, although she's not credited as Catwoman in the credits either. But with Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel following in later years, they weren't called their names in their films, but they were in the credits and the titles. So if there was to be a Catwoman film, not the 2004 one, but another Catwoman film, would they actually call her Catwoman in that film? or if she was to appear when she appears in the DC Universe film series. The Gotham Sirens, I think, might have been one they were thinking of, or another one, maybe the solo Batman one, if that's still going ahead. Not with Ben Affleck, obviously, but as he's left the project now. But with another point, but yeah, I'm just wondering. But yeah, Hathaway does an amazing performance as Selina Kyle / Catwoman, and and she's also really beautiful as well, by the way. Yeah, well, I also think Talia is also very beautiful. Yep, and the two Rachels. Yeah, but looks aren't everything. But thankfully, Hathaway also brings an amazing performance to the character. She has a great range and has great athletic skills as well. That helps with her character in a few scenes. And finally, we have Blake, who is, well, it's revealed at the end his name's actually Robin. So nice little time there. It would have been great if they called him. Your real name's Dick Grayson. He said, yeah, but everybody just calls me Robin. Or as a nickname. So that would have been great. And he's a really important character at the film. To be honest, it's setting up at the end that he's going to take on the mantle of Batman after Bruce Wayne and after the events of the film. Spoiler alert: Bruce Wayne does not die in the when he attempts to sacrifice himself. He does not die. He ends up surviving and eventually ends up with Selina. And yeah, it's a pretty great ending, and again, more great action. This is basically a war film in some parts. It goes from a time of peace to a time of another dangerous foe is operating under the city, to Batman being basically beaten and even broken at some points. Then the villainous plan going ahead and we've now got this martial law land, which is supposed to be going back to the people, but it's kind of an awful situation when you kind of think about it. The intentions may be honourable from some people, but from other people, it's just like in Batman Begins. How are you any better? In fact, some places you might even be worse. And it's just a pretty scary place. And eventually it becomes an all-out war at the end, and a fight for survival and a battle to survive and escape. And it just ends up with a amazingly executed final installment. And we also get to see Bruce gaining his strength, escaping from the prison he was put in. Yeah, we might have had a bit too much time in there, but we got to learn some revelations there as well. And Ra's al Ghul makes some nice reappearances here, and his backstory is developed a little bit more, and it's really great, really well executed. Once again, superb mix of visual effects with practicals, superb acting. I've got Gary Oldman, he does a great job here, as well as Jim Gordon. It might be his personal best, his character's best performance. It just, even though he's out of the picture for a little bit of it, but it's still a marvellously crafted film. Everything is just magnificent. Everything that goes right in these films goes right on a production or execution level, and it's just marvellous. It's a marvellous way to end the series, the trilogy, I should say, and it's just pretty beautiful. It is a very long film, though. It is nearly 3 hours. On here it says 164, but I think it's actually slightly longer. I think it might be closer to 170 or so minutes or something. It's around a similar length to the first two installments of the Lord of the Rings, as opposed to the length of the first Hobbit film, like it says on the box. In fact, according to this box, each film is getting longer, whilst the Hobbit films are around a similar length, or just a little shorter. But yes, this is just a fantastic way to end this amazing trilogy. And you know, apart from maybe the original the 1989 film, there is literally no other Batman film that's better than this besides The Dark Knight. I think all three films are just the pinnacle of the Batman franchise. And so I'm going to give The Dark Knight Rises a 10 out of 10. Beautiful, magnificent, amazingly crafted, really well executed film. It's just magnificent. So, like my friend Ollie Payne, aka Mr. TARDIS 11, every single film is a 10 out of 10, and it's just so good. So, that's it from my review of The Dark Knight Rises. Thank you so much for watching this trilogy. I'm going to do a mini ranking the films, but I think you pretty much already know what that is. You probably even knew from the first one. But I'm going to do a quick mini one anyway, and yeah, so that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Nicholas Payne Retro YouTube channel. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Nick here, and welcome once and... Excuse me, that's not right. But... Hang on.